The Caribbean sun was slowly setting beneath the horizon as the Black Serpent silently made its way toward the ominous island of Tortuga. Captain Jack Mallory stood at the helm, his gaze fixed on the darkening sea. Rumors whispered from mouth to mouth spoke of a lost treasure map, a map bearing a deadly curse that doomed anyone who sought it. But Jack was a man who never backed down from a challenge.
My name is Jack Mallory. Once, I was one of the rare pirates England had placed a bounty on. Just hearing my name would make men shiver, as if death was right beside them. But the funny thing was, at this moment, I had neither a ship, a crew, nor anything to call my own. What I needed wasn't just gold. What I truly needed was a ship to sail the seas, a loyal crew to follow me, rum to keep spirits high during long nights, and comrades to share the journey. There were rumors spreading, a cursed treasure, a chest filled with gold. Many sailors laughed it off. But when it came to Captain Varga, anything was possible. It was about 5 years ago. I had only a few shillings left in my pocket. That night, I wanted to forget my troubles, or maybe just get drunk. I threw myself into Tortuga's most notorious tavern, the Grog and Dagger. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and spilled rum. Drunken laughter and whispers intertwined. The wooden floor groaned under the weight of worn boots and broken dreams. Rough-looking sailors sipped their drinks around me, and women with watchful eyes wandered the room. Dirty dice rolled quickly on tables, and the harshness of life was felt in every corner. Many women here didn't like me, for good reason. I'd parted ways with many. Some I had left without paying. Others I had kept at bay with promises of marriage. Drunk and barely able to stand, clutching the hat I had stolen tightly, I prayed not to be noticed. I had spent my last shilling on a glass of rum that I hoped would numb the pain inside me. While waiting there, a man sat beside me. A man who carried the torment of the oceans on his face, looking as if he had battled the devil of the sea. His eyes held storms, secrets too heavy to bear. Jack, it's been a long time since I last saw you around here. Still a captain without a ship, as I understand. Captain Varga's map. You're after it, aren't you? I'm one of Varga's old crew. Many lost their lives searching for that treasure. Every step chasing that map brings you closer to death. His words were filled with shadows. He clearly knew my name. No one but sailors had heard it. I challenged him without blinking. No one from that man's crew ever came out alive. Who are you? Either you're a liar or a ghost. The man looked deeply into my eyes, pale as death. It was as if his soul had left his body, leaving only cold, lifeless flesh behind. Suddenly, that mysterious man slipped a worn piece of parchment into my hand. It was clearly one piece of a 4-part map. This is the only thing I could bring, Jack. But the curse won't leave me. I'll give it to you, but on one condition. You must take me on as part of your crew. The drawings in my hand were not the scribblings of a drunk. At that moment, I understood this wasn't a fantasy, but a real guide. Too old and maybe too dead to join my crew. I teased him, but not a single expression changed on his face. Fine, and I will definitely find you. Hey, look over there, beauty, I said, calling to a nearby woman. Can you revive this dead soul a little? You'll get paid. From behind me, the man's voice echoed sharply and urgently. Devil's Reef, Jack. Be very careful there. The biggest reason my name was known was not just my cunning or bravery, but the compass I carried. Only it showed me the way, making me a unique man, an unmatched captain. But cursed or not, I couldn't even set foot on this endless sea without a ship. Now, staring at the boundless waters, who knew what dangers and secrets hid beneath those waves? Amid the salty wind, a sudden shout rose from behind. There he is, Jack Mallory. Soldiers of the British Navy sprang from the shadows at the nearby dock. weapons ready, eyes determined. Among them was Captain Henry Graves, a man who knew my name all too well. Maybe he chased me because I was a pirate captain, but we both knew the truth. His wife was my admirer, and I might have been caught with her. It wasn't my fault. That woman tempted me, of course. "You won't escape this time, Mallory," Graves shouted. "You're under arrest for piracy and murder." I plunged into the labyrinth of narrow streets, the echo of footsteps behind me. The chase had begun again. Narrow, dark alleys echoed to the rhythm of my footsteps, while my heart pounded in my chest. Flowered balconies hung between high walls, and rusted lanterns barely lit my path. The wind howled through the narrow streets, meeting the moonlight, filtering through broken windows. Suddenly, I came upon the door of the Grog and Dagger Bar. Inside, laughter, clinking glasses, and muffled music spilled out. In one motion, I pushed the door open and burst inside among the stunned gazes of the crowd. Glasses fell and shattered, tables overturned. In panic, the bar's order was destroyed. The musicians behind fell silent. The atmosphere suddenly tensed. But the soldiers behind me didn't stop. They followed through the crowd, entering with me, weapons in hand, determination in their eyes. Footsteps and shouts from every corner turned the bar into a chaos zone. To escape, I enacted my most dangerous plan. After exiting through an old door at the back of the bar, I threw myself onto the roof. The rooftops were much quieter than the narrow streets, but this place was like a maze. I had to walk carefully on the old tiles, each step sounding like cracking bones. Captain Graves and his men followed me to the edge of the roof. I heard the cocking of guns, but didn't slow down. I sped up, jumping from roof to roof. Ahead, there was an old pier where I could descend to a small courtyard. I stopped for a moment, took a deep breath. I closed my eyes and hoped to blend into the darkness. Footsteps approached. Ropes hanging from shadows swung from right to left, the beams above twisting to complicate my escape. But I was Jack Mallory. Cursed or chased, I was never easy to catch. Jumping between roofs, I finally reached the abandoned pier on the west side of the old harbor. The dock's stones were moss-covered. The wooden floor groaned under every step. I was out of breath. The moonlight shone like tired silver just before dawn. Waves gently hit the pier's legs, and I seemed to have nowhere left to run. I glanced one last time, then overturned a large old barrel on the pier. It was dark and damp inside, but I had no other choice. I bent down, slipped inside, and pulled the lid over me, sinking into the silence of darkness. Seconds later, footsteps echoed. Soldiers spread out along the dock, searching. I held my breath. Watching out through the barrel's holes, I smiled inwardly. Did those stupid soldiers really think they could catch Captain Jack? I chuckled quietly to myself. A young soldier standing behind him looked out to the horizon and muttered unconsciously, "That's why they call him the Ghost, sir." Graves suddenly turned, glared at the soldier with jealousy and helplessness in his eyes. "Shut up. We're going back," he said through clenched teeth, then turned and walked away. As his footsteps slowly faded, a muffled laugh echoed from inside the barrel. Just then, someone stopped just in front of the barrel. It was Graves. I saw his eyes flashing angrily in the moonlight. He clenched his teeth and leaned forward, spitting on the ground. "Damn it," he shouted. "How the hell does this filthy bastard vanish every time?"